But as you can see from YouTube earnings, so the rent for this apartment is 18,000 pesos a month. So that equals out to about 600 pesos per day. So that takes a big chunk of my budget, but that's to be expected. Rent usually does that. I do hope to get this expense down in the future once things settle down in terms of traveling here in the Phils. The first month is always the most expensive in general, right? Even outside of rent. The longer you stay in one spot, the easier it is to lower all parts of your budget. So yeah. So the rent for today is 600 pesos, okay? So let's move on to the next expense. Immigration. The first 2 months are, I think, the cheapest for immigration, as the first month is basically, it's free, right? So I paid 3,100 pesos for the additional month because the charge was 3,050 pesos, but they didn't have change. So I said, just keep the extra 50 pesos. So that is 3,100, for 2 months. It's about 50 pesos a day in order to pay for my tourist visa here in the Philippines. By the way, I wanted to mention, a very smart subscriber here mentioned that my immigration was actually about 2,000 pesos. The reason they charged me 3,000 plus, they tack on an extra 1,000 for expedited service without actually asking you. So a note to those who are wanting to save a bit of money that you can request. If you don't want or need expedited service, you can request slower service. And it just means you'll prefer to come back in a few days to pick it up. I'm going to do that next time on this vlog and see how it goes. As long as the Manila immigration office is not too far away from my next apartment. I mean, where I am now, I pass by immigration every day anyways. So it would have been very convenient to ask for slow service here in Butuan. Anyway, so between rent and immigration, today I'm at 650 pesos so far. Instead of getting some food at Starbucks, which is, obviously overpriced, I get bread at this bakery for 20 pesos. For that 20 pesos, I get 4 pieces of bread, and I eat that on the way to Starbucks. I find I just buy bread at Starbucks because, I don't like drinking Americano on an empty stomach. So if I fill up on some bread prior to arriving at the Starbucks, then I don't have the desire to buy my banana bread, which I do like. I don't have that desire to buy it inside the Starbucks, okay? So that's 20 pesos. So yeah, 670 pesos so far today. Let's move on. The Americano is 160 pesos for a grande Americano at Starbucks. So obviously, spending 160 pesos for a hot Americano when I could have like a coffee co at home for 9 pesos is a budget killer. If it's done every day as I do it. I go to Starbucks every day. So, I mean, even Milo tastes good in the morning. I've done that before. I just buy cheese bread and dip it in Milo, which is kind of like a hot chocolate. It goes down well in the morning. However, the issue is that I always have an urge to get out of the house in the morning. So even when I was in Korea, I had that same urge to get out of the house in the morning. If I were like living with a Filipina, if I had like a girl I was in love with, we're living together, maybe I don't think I would have that urge to leave the house every morning. But, I'm just here, I wake up, I'm, by myself, I have an urge to get out. So anyway, 160 pesos for the Americano. So far, we're already at 830 pesos and I barely woken up. There's 2 places I like to go for lunch. One is Mang Inasal and one is Rib Shack, and both are inside the SM Mall. So usually I'll go to the Rib Shack, and that's only because the Mang Inasal lineups are too big. Whereas Rib Shack, they don't really have lineups, but you could argue the Rib Shack food is actually better. It's on the 2nd floor if you're ever in SM Butuan. The good thing with both these places is that they taste good. Okay, so Mang Inasal, you got chicken. Rib Shack, you got meats. And number two, they give unlimited rice. Okay, so if the goal is to fill up the old gut, rice does work to do that. I know a lot of people don't eat rice, but I mean, personally, I have no problem with rice. I'm very much not a picky eater. A lot of people, they think of rice as, like a Snickers bar, full of sugar. But personally, I've never had a problem with rice. So anyway, we're at about, after lunch now, we're at about 990 pesos. So I think we're going to go over that 1,000 pesos. Okay, so after lunch, I'll exit the backside of SM, and there's a favorite place I like to go to. They have coconut juice and banana Q. Okay, so I'll get one coconut juice for 10 pesos, and I'll get two banana Qs for 8 pesos each. So let's just say that's 30 pesos. And so now we're at 1,020 pesos. So here we are, we're over budget, but now we finished our bulk of the day. We're gonna head home. So I'm going to stop by the bakery again. I'm going to get 4 pieces of bread again, 20 pesos, because I do love durian bread. So also on the way home, I'll get 2 Milos. So that's another 20 pesos. So this snack with 4 pieces of durian bread or cheese bread and 2 Milos, this is like a snack after lunch. So that's 40 pesos. So now we're at 1,060 pesos so far today. So usually for dinner, there's a barbecue place below this apartment. And it's basically, you'll get rice and some barbecue sticks. And it'll be 100 pesos. So I'll go down, order it, and then I'll bring it up to my room. And it's so at 100 pesos, it fills me up for the night. And so here we are. We're at 1,160 pesos so far. So the phone load. So my load on my phone was a smart SIM card, and it has only internet. So I do not have a phone number, okay? And it was 500 pesos. So for 30 days, that is 20 pesos a day rounded up. So now after adding the load to the day, we're at 1,180 pesos. So yeah, that's pretty much the total, So today I spent 1,180 pesos. Plus my electric bill, which I'm guessing will be under 1,000. So let's say 900 pesos. As I rarely use the aircon, I've used it maybe twice for like 30 minutes each time. So yeah, let's add 30 pesos to that. So now we're at 1,210 pesos. But as you can see from YouTube earnings, I'm making about 1,700, 1,800 a day. So far I'm able to stay in the fills, but we will see what happens later this year. And the worst thing that happens is I got to go back to teaching. So by the way, I put an end to the beer, which was a major expense. I was drinking a lot when I got here, and I realized it just doesn't give me the same feeling as Korean rice wine, or as they call it, makgeolli. And I do miss the Korean rice wine very much. It was also making me fat, this beer, okay? As some of you noticed in my earlier vid, okay? It's making me fat, and I've already lost a bunch of weight after stopping beer. I was drinking beer all day long just to cool down. But maybe the cooling down thing is just an excuse. So anyway, there's no more beer, I think, for now. But I have looked for my beloved Korean rice wine here in Butuan. However, it's not available anywhere. And I've looked around. There is no Korean rice wine around. So I'm hoping when I get to Manila, I'll be able to find my rice wine at a Korean shop somewhere in the big city. When I find a rice wine source, this budget will rise a little bit, obviously. So yeah, that's it's 1,210 pesos multiplied by 30 is 36,300 pesos. But let's make it 40,000 for toiletries and other odds and ends. So that is the USD budget of 740 buckaroos. And hey, I enjoy my days, so there's really no problemo. Now you may think I don't eat much But that's just how it is, you know. I don't eat very much. I just like snacking. So I'm definitely not like eating healthy these days. But once I settle down in my own apartment, I'll be cooking for myself, like rice, you know, chicken curry, green tea, etc. Healthy style. But you know, when you're on the road, it's just so damn convenient to eat out. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys for watching the vid, okay? And this will be the last vid here in Butuan. I'll be heading to Manila in a few days. So until the next Vitorino, guys, adios to my great, fantastic brethren, and I look forward to seeing you guys in real life or on the next vid. Take care, my great friends.